Hi, Gerhard Bloom, once again, looking at the tyranny and the delusions of the social justice movement. So for you careful observers out there who've followed my videos for some time, you'll have noticed likely that I wear a cross and a Star of David. And nobody's really more surprised about this fact than myself. When I started writing my book, Deconstructing Social Justice, it's available on Amazon. Yes, it's important, not because I wrote it because the issues cannot be more important. I'm mid-paragraph. I'm one of these new age atheists, in the manner of Christopher Hitchens, Richard Dawkins, Sam Harris. You can get liberal values armchair theorizing, right? No, absolute nonsense. Jordan Peterson famously had a bun fight over this issue, right? Grounded in the fact-value distinction. Sam Harris somehow thinks you can get, values. There's a bridge to values from observation of facts, like, say, human suffering. Well, the sad fact is you can't. That bridge is, unsurpassable. There's a wall between fact and values. Hitler made observations of the world, much like, the social Darwinists, right? They made observations of the world. The weak shall die, so the, strong shall live. Alfred Lord Tennyson, right? The poet. Nature is red, tooth and claw. That was Nietzsche's vision. That was Hitler's vision. And Joseph Stalin, right? To history and humanity, we owe a duty. To you, you don't mean anything. So, of course, millions were sacrificed on the altar of the utopian future. Judeo-Christian values, right? Man is created in the image of God. There is no utopian future. There is no higher purpose that allows you to kill innocent women and children to further some ideological end, like Islam. No. At any rate, I was listening to the Dennis Prager podcast. Love the man. Brilliant. He's talking to pastors and suggesting that people put up a mezuzah outside their door. Like it's a little box, has some religious text in there, I think from the Ten Commandments, marks you out as a Jew. Suggesting that Christians do it. And yeah, I've ordered one on Amazon. And in addition to the cross, I put a flag of Israel in my profile picture on Facebook. No, I'm not asking you to do the same, right? You do you. But this is my response to politicians across the Western world telling Jews, well, you might want to avoid going to certain places. Keep a low profile. Those symbols of a religious affiliation and belief and your identity, yeah, you should hide those because it's not safe for you. Well, how about if more and more people were to be indistinguishable? You put, I'm not hiding my Christian affiliations and sympathies, but I put a cross and a Star of David on there. Jewish people see that. And some have, before this October 7th, have made comment on that, asked me about it. Needless to say, they don't believe for a moment that I'm going to attack them as a vicious anti-Semite. No, across the Western world, Jews are under threat. Attacked in the streets, protest marches calling for their death and attack. No, it's a no. Gas the Jews. Thousands at Sydney Opera House, in Toronto, Canada. People calling for beheading of Jews. No, they didn't say Israelis, they said Jews. And this is Britain, all over Britain, this poisonous rage and genocidal ideology from, Muslims brought up in tyranny, fascism, and totalitarian ideology that is Islam, and these leftists, raised in this poisonous, post-colonial ideological nonsense that sees Jews as oppressors. Of course, they know nothing of the, hordes of Muslim marauders seizing vast swaths of, yes, Christian territories. Yeah, Syria, Egypt, Lebanon, Morocco, Jordan. Yeah, it's all Christian lands until taken over and people mercilessly put to death by the sword and converted under the tyranny that is Islam, because as Christians, they were subject to an unremitting attack and lived in absolute servitude. So yes, the indigenous cultures that leftists want to champion in this post-colonial ideology, where the indigenous cultures across the Arab world, they're all indistinguishable from, the Arab Peninsula, because it's all been, subsumed under Arab tyranny and the tyranny that is Islam. So yes, Israeli flag, my Facebook profile, Star of David, and the Menuza. So this is me being me. You do what you want, but at the very least, you can express some solidarity for Jews who are now under a tremendous amount of threat. It's just awful. Anyways, no, I hope this doesn't come across as, hollow, virtuous signaling. It's not. It is absolutely not. I'm not going to think worse of you if you don't put the flag up, or better if you do. I'll certainly, respect your choice if you do put it up, but I'm not going to feel bad or offended if you don't. But I think it's a great idea to express some solidarity. And the more people who do this, the less people have to cower in fear, because there is strength in numbers. I believe I mentioned in one of these one of these videos that had everybody, publishers all over the world had published the Danish cartoons and the Charlie Hebdo cartoons. Then the people of Charlie Hebdo wouldn't have been under attack, because you can't attack everybody. But instead, these brave people at Charlie Hebdo and the people who published the Danish cartoons, yeah, they were marked out for death. Absolutely awful. The shamelessness, the cowardice, cartoons. Imagine that. Killing people for publishing cartoons. Anyways, thanks so much for your time and attention. I hope this wasn't too much of a rant. Thanks so much for your time and attention. And yes, do check out that book, Deconstructing Social Justice. I promise you, it's important. And not because I wrote it. I wrote it because the issues could not be more important. And sadly, the events of October 7th, more than justify my discussions of the tyranny that is Islam. And no, Israel is not an oppressor state. The oppressors of the people of Gaza and the West Bank, that is Israel. Check out my video on understanding the atrocities of Hamas. They are inexplicable without reference to Islam, as are the atrocities of ISIS and Palestinian Jihad, Jamaat Islamiyah. We could go on and on. Anyways, thanks so much for your time and attention. Bye-bye now.